Hi guys, welcome back to another day of Bookmas. In today's Bookmas we have a very exciting video. We have my top 10 favourite books of all time from this year, which I'm so excited to talk to you about. I was very easy choosing my number one book, but very difficult choosing the rest and what order I wanted to put them in, but I'm so excited. We're going to start with number 10 through to 5, no particular order, but 5 to 1 I've ordered them in order. For the books that I read, we've got 1 thriller, 5 contemporary romance, 2 fiction, 1 young adult romantasy, 1 novella. At number 10 we have got Elif Shafak's There Are Rivers in the Sky. This author was recommended to me by my sister. This book came out last year. I just love the cover of it. I was a little bit apprehensive going in just because it's so outside of my comfort zone. It's a historical contemporary fiction. I was just a little bit intimidated thinking that it would be quite intense to read, but lo and behold I was really pleasantly surprised. The writing style just flows, it's very thoughtful, all the concepts and characters are very complex that are in this book. Basically we follow 3 different stories and they're all interconnected timelines, locations, and each are connected by the power of human resilience, water being the main theme, and history. We've got Arthur, and that is set in the 1800s, and he's a bit of a sewerage rat, but we find out that he has an incredible mind and incredibly smart and can remember all sorts, like a photogenic memory. We also follow Naren, a girl who has a rare diagnosis that is going to cause her to go deaf, and her grandmother wants to take her to a sacred temple in Iraq to get her baptized before she goes deaf. Then we have Salika, set in 2018, and she's recently divorced. She's a hydrologist and she moves to a houseboat. The way that these 3 characters interconnect is just, I don't know how her mind works because it's so clever, and it was just brilliantly written. The amount of thought, history that she would have looked up to get all these facts about the waters and the rivers, the history is incredible. So I would definitely recommend this book. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. The next book on the top 10 is, of course, we have to have a Jessa Hastings book in the top 10, is The Conditions of Will. This is a contemporary romance. We follow Georgia, who is a professional lie detector. She's got a degree in psychology and she can read body language so well. She's been estranged from her wealthy South Carolina family, and she's been living in London. She is estranged from her family. She's considered the dark horse, along with her brother, who is a gay alcoholic. He lives overseas away from his family as well. And they get called back to South Carolina because of the unexpected death of her dad, and this is where the romance starts. Her brother is an anonymous sponsor. As soon as Georgia sees Sam, she's fallen. Basically the tension is there, and this book is a bit of a slow burn, friends to lovers, forced proximity, maybe a bit of a love triangle as well. Her brother Oliver has feelings as well, unspoken feelings for Sam, his sponsor. There's a bit of a mystery that happens with the father's will, and I would really rate this book. The tension and the suspense and the romance that Jessa Hastings is able to write so flawlessly just honestly baffles me. It's so good. This one is a standalone book. These are also always stunning. So that was number 9. Love a Jessa Hastings book. I would definitely recommend if you like a contemporary romance. Friends to lovers situation, love triangle. Definitely a top contender for the year. The Wake Up Call by none other than Beth O'Leary. This one I actually got from the library. I couldn't put this book down either. It's actually set at Christmas, so if you wanted a Christmas read, it would be festive and wholesome to read at this time of the year. It is a romance book following Izzy and Lucas, and basically they work at this hotel. It's not going to stay afloat by Christmas. They have to do something dramatic to try hold it afloat. They both share a love for this hotel, and it's such like a cozy setting of the hotel. They are arch enemies. He is grumpy, she is sunshine. Beth O'Leary really made me fall in love with the characters, the banter, the giggles, It was just so well executed and I really thoroughly enjoyed this book. It's also a 4 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read on my Kindle, Atlas Hunter or The Crimson Moth. I think it's called The Crimson Moth in the Southern Hemisphere. I loved this book so much. It was a duology, young adult romantasy. It was such a fun story. We've got Rune. She is hiding her powers. She comes across as a kind of ditzy socialite. And then we've also got the Crimson Moth. The witches are getting purged, and so the Crimson Moth is saving these witches and sending them out on a boat to go be free. Then we find out that Gideon, who is a witch hunter, finds out that the witches are being smuggled out on Rune's boat. He thinks that Rune is some kind of like just ditzy socialite, and then he learns that there's more to her than what the facade she's showing to the world is. She is trying to figure out who's on her tail and he's trying to chase her as well. So it's like a game of cat and mouse. Such a cool plot. The lust, the tension, the banter, the fast pace, the whole storyline with the witch hunter and the witch. I love the whole duology. Honestly, the first book leaves you on such a cliffhanger, and I feel like it would make for such a good Netflix series or TV show or movie. It had really good female empowerment threaded throughout. The next book that is on the list is a new release by Frederick Buckman, contemporary fiction. It's also got tropes of friendship, coming of age, a summer read. Frederick Buckman's writing style is very unique. Always elicits the strongest emotions. We follow Louisa and she unexpectedly falls holding this very expensive piece of art. We follow the story of how the art came to be, who the painter was. The friendships of the people in the painting has always intrigued Louisa, and so we go back in time and see the point of view from when the painter was a child and he painted this before he went into massive fame with his paintings. And one of the quotes that I really liked: "The world is full of miracles, but none greater than how far a young person can be carried by someone else's belief in them." But there were honestly so many good quotes in this book. And I love you and I believe in you. That holds a lot of power in this book. This one was a beautiful story. It's not fast paced, but you just follow the lives of these characters and you feel like you really get to know them. This one is more character driven. I wouldn't go in with like wanting a suspense fast paced plot, but it was very much focused on the story and people's lives and human emotions, and was a really beautiful read, so I would definitely recommend. Next book that we have is by one of my favourite thriller authors, Holly Jackson, Not Quite Dead Yet. I loved Good Girls Guide to Murder, also the reappearance of Rachel Price. Her books are just so fast paced. This one is her first adult novel. We follow Jet, who is 27 years old. She actually suffers a catastrophic brain injury and most likely not going to survive. There's a really low chance, even if she has surgery, there's a low chance of surviving, and basically she's been given 7 days to live, and she is on an absolute mission to find out who is gonna kill her. Just a tumultuous journey. We've got layers here, we've got a plot twist that I didn't see coming. It was a really great thriller. It got me out of a slump. So it says here by Alex Michaelides, propulsive, unputdownable, and unexpectedly heart-wrenching. Not Quite Dead Yet is a masterclass in thriller writing, and I 100% agree with that. I'd highly recommend, especially if you're in a bit of a reading slump and want something fast-paced. I would recommend Need to Be Sit. We are up to our final top 3. In the top 3 we have got Yours Truly, which I did read on my Kindle. It is a contemporary romance. We follow Bianca, who's a doctor. She's just going through a divorce. Her brother trying to find a kidney donor, and then at work a new doctor comes along and he doesn't make the greatest first impression. He has social anxiety, so he comes across as kind of like rude, like not there, doesn't want to talk to her, but it is really refreshing to see this main character with social anxiety. He writes her a letter and the game just changes, and the letters between them are so adorable. This book had me laughing, giggling. It was so much fun, such a fun concept for a story. A 5 out of 5 stars, and haven't been able to stop thinking about this book since I read it at the beginning of the year in summer. We love an Abby book. Number 2 on the list, actually a novella, and I don't know if this counts, but we're making it count because it's my top 10, and it is by Frederick Buckman, and it is and every morning the way home gets longer and longer. And this one is a novella. I think it's about 75 pages. It's not long at all. It's my first Frederick Buckman book I read, and I was totally blown away with how emotive and how heartwarming and how well he describes 3 generations of people in this family and how they're affected by their granddad with dementia and the slow progress of dementia and how you grieve the person where they're still there. The relationship between the son and the granddad and his son and the grandson and the granddad, and then how the granddad views his wife through the granddad's eyes, so the grandma's wife in his eyes. And if I was to suggest any book to anyone, that would be one that I would recommend, because it was just so heartfelt, and in 75 pages just touched me so much. And yeah, I thought it was a really refreshing way to look at somebody's story through dementia. It was such a personal and human way how he depicts somebody going through dementia and all the family members, and how you're impacted by a person going through the diagnosis with dementia. Really beautiful read, and another 5 out of 5 stars. And then we have our number 1 book, which I read at the beginning of the year, and it is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. This book is the first book to the interconnected standalone series. This was my bookmark at the time, but I felt it sheltered to speak to, and I just thought that was so fitting with this book. We have got Alexis and Daniel. The thing about an Abby Jimenez book, I love her meet cute, so I know it's going to be a good rom-com if they have a good meet cute at the beginning. And the way that Alexis drives randomly into a ditch and then stumbles across the sky is just, the way that Abby Jimenez writes is so witty, so clever, and so fun that it's really laugh out loudable. Just had me giggling from the get-go and crying. There is an age gap, so Alexis is older. There is also small town. She comes from a wealthy family and she's a doctor at the hospital. Got just such different worlds. She's from the big city, he's from a small town. He has many jobs. He's a carpenter, like the town mayor. He's got a pet goat. Also, he runs his grandparents' Airbnb. Yeah, I was just sold. I loved it. 5 out of 5 stars. The way that they work through their conflict is just not messy. Abby again talks about deeper things in her books other than just a light-hearted romance, which I like. I love the emotive feel that you get from a romance book. It definitely gave it to me. The highlight of this book was that all his animals had really fun names. A pig called Kevin Bacon, and it's just I don't know how Abby thinks of these. She's just so funny, and I love a little bit of a giggle in a romance as well. So that is my number 1 book of 2025. I thought I would slow down a little bit because when I was in my first trimester I just did not want to read at all. So I had really low book counts for the months of like April, May and June, and then got back into the swing of things after that. I have read 36 books this year. My goal is to read 40, so hopefully I can finish off high on reading my 40 books for the year. Let me know in the comments what your favourite book of this year was. I would love to know and hear your recommendations. If you've also read any of these books, let me know what your thoughts and opinions are on them. I have really enjoyed filming this video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I'll see you in the next Bookmas. Bye!